So, welcome everyone to one more session on Out of the Box Developer. So today we decided to talk a bit about Devin. I think there's some background noise. Someone with
Echo.
echo. Yeah,
Echo.
I was trying to figure out.
Try
And
again.
maybe. Oh yeah, fix it. No, no.
I'm on headphones, so probably it's not here.
What thing? But okay, not so strong. But yeah, let's don't know if it's if you are on the chat and you are hearing the echo, please tell us so we can we can see if we need to fix or not. Um, but yeah, today we're going to talk about Devin. We talked a bit on another session in the past, but today we found a video of a guy that was able to get the early access, and yeah, we took a look, and there's lots of things to talk regarding to that. If you're worried about being replaced by AI engineer, I think you should be watching and contributing here on your with your comments. But yeah, first let me say hello for everyone here. So hello Pedro, how are you, man?
Hey, yeah, how are you? Hey, thanks, you good. Thanks, everybody for joining us today. Well, yeah, this is our first React. I think it's interesting. Of course, it's a React because we can't access Devin directly, but as this guy had, and he did some interesting tasks there, and I say, oh, and it looks interesting. I think we could see some interesting stuff. Of course, it's not what the marketing said, but it is something really interesting. I think it's something we should take a look. We should look in deep because probably more tools like it will be appearing in no time. So it's something that it's we need to take a look.
Yes, cool. And we have a lot to talk about it. So, let me say hello to Chila. Hey, Chila. And you, how are you? We can hear you. I think you're muted.
Yes, I muted myself.
Oh,
So I am back.
no problem.
So thanks for having me here. And I'm looking forward to this session and looking at the use cases that Pedro is going to share with us on the video. And let's see how it is going.
I hope the internet works well, right, Pedro? But yeah, we have here too Thiago. Hey, Thiago, how are you, man?
Hello everyone. I'm great. How about you? Really excited to see a little bit more about Devin. Who knows?
Cool.
Who knows about the future in AI, right?
Good stuff. So yeah, and you, Igor, how are you, man?
Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, let's say a little bit more about Devin, how we react to that. Everything that I'm going to see today is completely new. Prefer to not look into so much on that. So this will be my first reactions on that. Let's find out if this guy can came up with something. I'm on this space, so I don't know if Devin can do anything further on that.
Cool stuff, man. So before we got started, let's talk a bit about what is Devin. Probably there's some people don't know what Devin is and why people are talking a lot about it or talking a lot. I think there was quick hype, but then we see less news. But yeah, can anyone give a quick introduction about Devin – so people can also be on the same page?
Yeah, I can. Well, for the one, I'm not. I don't have the page for Devin now because, but who was there in next month, last month, and was in the development environment? Everybody was talking about it because Devin is the first AI software engineer, and he will gonna take our jobs, and well, everybody was talking about it, right? They created very interesting marketing stuff showing what Devin could do, right? And say, "Oh, Devin is doing work in Upwork and stuff, and getting it from GitHub, whatever, right?" And but there was a lot, many people asking to have access to Devin, like the early access to see what's going on, and many people couldn't get it. Uh, we actually, I think Douglas here from our team asked for getting access to Devin when he couldn't, but some people got that. This guy got this an access. He's saying he's not being paid by them to do this video here, right? He's saying the beginning of the video, say, I just got asked and they gave me. I say, okay, cool. Gave me access. Okay. We couldn't. You are a lucky guy. Well, but actually, there were lots of other videos getting the marketing video and looking shot by shot, and they could see like that is not doing exactly what they say they're doing, right? And there are lots of talk about it. People like just say, "Oh, Devin is a scam," and all this stuff. Then people stop talking about it. But this video is very interesting because it shows like real world cases for the Devin, and it shows like interesting success and interesting failures. I think this is something more real, and something that we actually can expect in in these things, because currently we are in a moment of multi agents. you know we are really hearing a lot about agents in our GenAI stuff currently. There was a talk from Andrew Neig and many people and people from LangChain talking about it, and this is really interesting stuff. It's in the beginning, right? And looks like Devin has something about it. You know, not a perfect software engineer, but they have something about it, and they are probably working hard on top of it. You know, so that's why I think it's not something we could think at as a scam. You know, it's not a scam. There are people working hard on it, and that is something and that's why I think it's interesting that we can see now a little more about it.
Yeah, maybe not something that can replace software engineers for now, but something interesting to pay attention on. Something that probably can join us in the future, as a pipeline did back then, as a AI code reviewer already are doing some companies.
Hmm.
So it's something to really pay attention on.
Cool. Let me quickly say hello to Daniel Fagundes. He said interesting. And yeah, welcome Daniel. If anyone watching us, if you are worried about uh, AI software engineer or not worried about, yeah, share your thoughts here with us on the comments, so you can also react together with the video.
Hmm.
But yeah, does Thiago Chila, do you want to quickly comment something regarding to Devin?
No, Pedro introduced it very well. And, first came all the hype, and then, there were some other talks about it. And it's always interesting to see it in real situations. how it is working. So I can think of a situation in my work. How would Devin solve that problem, or what were the obstacles? So I think that's interesting.
Yeah, that's also a comment that Scylla placed that at the first when that hype came out, oh my god, everyone was alarming. Even I can share with you guys, I got excited. Oh my god, I lost my job to this Devin. Not say a single word on that. But then let's figure out. I don't think so. Like I just mentioned, I believe that will be another two that will be more helping us in that. But I want to hear Tiago your thoughts about Devin as well.
Yeah, I don't have much say, but I heard that Devin is becoming more human. Maybe it's wrong. And I say it's becoming more human because I heard that Devin is generating code and also generating bugs. So he start fixing his own
That's
bugs.
the human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
his
can do
human
that.
side.
I can do that.
That's great.
You reached the goal. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I think we can start seeing a little
Okay.
about the video, and then we can
Perfect.
discuss it.
So let me share your screen, Pedro.
Yeah. Well, let me just introduce this guy. This is the undefeated channel. Uh, this guy, he uh, he said in the beginning of the video that he asked Devin for an access, and they just answered him and say, "Okay, I will add you there, and you can access that, and you can use it for a week." And we can see here that he tried like Devin for 3 days, something, right? He didn't say how many days he could access it, but we can see in his screen the days, the number of days, So let's put here some of his talking and the beginning of
Pedro.
this is Devin.
Yeah, before playing video, I've shared the link on the comment. So if you want to access the same video, it is on YouTube. So you can also watch it all. But yeah, this React format is our first session we are trying out. So yeah, if you like it, also give some feedbacks. But that's good. Let's go, Pedro. I think
Yeah.
you can go with the playing video.
Okay. This is he created this five projects here. You can see 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. So it's probably the not 4 days. It's probably he had access like for 7 days or something, right? And
Yes,
then we can see here,
yes,
and then
yes.
we
Go
can
ahead.
see. Okay, and then we can see here the Devin's screen. Here we're gonna present it. Here you have the project Devin projects. This is the Devin screen, and here is the chat, so we can chat with Devin, right? And this is the where Devin does his magic. The shell, he can call some command. The browser, he can go to the internet and find some stuff. An editor, like a VS Code, and a planner. A planner is like he always create a plan before he does something, right? So let's see the video a little, and then we can discuss.
A walkthrough. On your left here, we have our sessions. So think of these sessions as projects that you're working on with Devin. Here is like the main interface where you are going to talk to Devin. Devin is going to answer to you. And here is Devin's workspace. You can see the terminal window, what Devin is doing. You can see the browser, what Devin is looking at. You can see the editor and have access to all of the files of code that Devin is creating. And you can see the planner where Devin is going to be breaking down the tasks one by one and completing them. The first project I gave Devin was a digital classification application. Here is the prompt, the initial prompt, how I describe my project. I wanted to create a web interface to upload the image of a digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and have the application to classify that image and tell me what that digit was. Obviously, I wanted to use TensorFlow to train it like a model to recognize those digits. I gave Devin a hint to use the MNIST data set. It's a very common data set when you are starting with machine learning. It's very popular. That is going to help the model learn what a digit looks like, what a handwritten digit looks like. That was my prompt. I think this was a very good test because I was forcing Devin to create a front-end application, create a back-end application, train a machine learning model, put all of the pieces together, do the deployment. There is a lot that goes into this, right? It's not a complex application, but it requires a bunch of skills to complete. What's interesting, I cannot go through all of the back and forth here because it will take forever. But what is interesting is that Devin made the decision to use a TensorFlow JavaScript model instead of creating an API and doing all of that. And it was interesting because I didn't say otherwise, but it would have been like an easier solution. So I understand maybe what it went with that down that route. But unfortunately for Devin, it got stuck. It had a problem. It asked for my help. And then that was an opportunity for me to steer it away from that solution. So I said, hey, please do not convert the model to TensorFlow.js. Instead, create a simple Flask API. That was an opportunity to steer Devin away. This brings me to something here very interesting, which is at any point while Devin is working, you can tell Devin to do something different. You can add more information. You can make corrections. Whenever Devin gets stuck, whenever it finds an error or finds something that requires more documentation, Devin is going to ask you back. So
this is something really interesting. We're gonna see like in all the projects he gonna talk about it, right? And all this is the way Devin works. So we put a prompt on that. Devin creates like a planner. You see, so we if this guy wanted to make these information to put this information to Devin before, he could, because right in the beginning, Devin said, "Okay, I will do this. Is TensorFlow.js converter, blah blah." He's saying he actually added all these things and then he start doing. You know what he said he was gonna do, right? Of course, it's easy to see that okay, I'm gonna use TensorFlow.js. It's probably not the best idea here, right? So, but and then he started talking to them because in this case Devin couldn't do anything. So let's go to the first comment about that. Yeah, ask Devin for help, and then he started deploying to Heroku. Let me put this guy.
no, yes, I did, and I'm like,
Yeah, asking said he asked it to deploy to Heroku, and Devin said I deployed, and now he's gonna argue with Devin. Let's see a little.
no, you didn't. And Devin said, okay, I think there is an issue. Let me review it. And then he fixed the issue and then he got the URL deployed. I think that was super cool, the back and forth. And you can see it here. If I scroll down, you can see here is telling me it has an error. And then I asked, did you deploy the application? And Devin says, yes, the application was deployed. And I was like, no, I looked at the dashboard. There's nothing there. And then Devin said, okay, it seems there might have been an issue with the deployment process. So at the end of this, it deployed the application. I asked for a link. It gave me a link. Unfortunately, it used
Man, it looks like me and talking to Copilot. Last week I had an arguing with Copilot. I asked the Copilot, "Oh, I need you to what was it? Was something that something with Redis. I say, I need to serialize this object and I had to add this Redis and take back. And he gave me a code. I put there. And I said, oh, it didn't work. And I put the error. And they said, oh, looks like in the error that you are having a serialization problem. You shouldn't call the serialization here. And I say, no, it's not me. I'm not calling anything. And they say, yes, it is. It's your code. You shouldn't do any serializations. And I said, no, it was not me. And I said, take a look at the traces. And I put the trace and I said, oh, I see. Like exactly like that. Oh, I see. And then he said, oh, I see. Oh, looks like it's Redis. Oh, you need to change that, and then to work. You know? So this kind of back and forth, it's not too different from this one here.
Mm.
Yes, I also experienced this. So you always have to look at it exactly what he's doing and trying to argue with.
Yeah, they are really becoming more humans. They are.
and
That's
we need to do this back and forth, you know. So
Yeah.
it's not something you could say, okay, do that for me, and it's and just forget. No, we need to go in back and forth. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's because when we think about AI, sometimes we think, oh, it is really smart. You only say that it's not working, and he will figure it out and will solve it. But this is not the truth, at least not for now, right? We need to give a lot of context and a lot of information and going back and going.
I I would change the acronym of AI to assistant intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. It's
That's
an
what we're
assist.
doing, right? We make it as assistant for us, right?
Absolutely. This
It,
this
it,
sounds
it,
this sounds
But
great.
it works. It is assistant, I can say. But of course, it's not something that we should say, okay, do that, and we can forget. No, it's look like someone that we can always say, oh, are you doing what I'm asking? Oh, how it's going, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of your personal junior developer helping you in your project, but this guy is very good at searching content.
The
But
exercise with some
Sorry.
but
Uh,
but
sorry.
one thing that is important, and if you interact with these models, if you use these models and understand that under the hood, one very important step to all of these work, because yeah, we see that with these models we can add some actions like Devin is doing. They are using some kind of tools, function callings, to make all this possible. And, and a smart step here, it is a planner, because these models, they won't figure out if you give too generic information, too generic prompt, they won't figure out all alone. So first you have to break into some steps, small steps, and let it accomplish one by one those steps. And that's interesting point, because you probably, if you will work with some models inside your application, inside some project, you probably will need something like that, a planner agent that can, before you start anything, you have to step by step define the method.
Mhm.
Then you can distribute the task for the other agents that will
yeah,
be
Yeah.
yeah, about that, maybe this will be the next big AI, the planner AI. So you can
well
chat
but
and then it create.
But this planning, the model, we have this GPT-4 3.5. They are already able to do it. It is a step that you have to do. You won't be accomplishing all of this with one prompt. You have to create a prompt that will describe that will break into the steps, and then for each step you will call give the prompt again to try to run and create and create the small things. So I think that that is a secret behind these walking, giving some skills for these models. Not like Pedro said, those multi agents, right? We have to create multiple times. We have to create different agents. One for the shell, one for the processor, one for the what is that?
Can you
The
expand it, Pedro, at least a little bit? Pedro,
if
expand
you can expand the video.
Oh,
at least
sorry.
a little bit. Doesn't need to be full screen if you want to use the. No, no.
Yeah, one for the shell, for the browser. I don't know what editors does. It is
It's a
the code,
code.
right? It is the code.
Yeah,
So yeah, probably there each of them is specific agent with the specific instruction, so they can interact with these. And we're gonna see a
exactly.
lot of these. At least I've seen that more and more common to use
Yeah,
multiple agents to accomplish a single task. Yeah,
for sure.
go ahead.
I was studying Cruel AI this
Mm,
week. So Cruel AI is exactly that. You can like create what they call a crew, but it's like a bunch of agents, and each one of these is very specific in his task. So we can say, oh, and then you can give tools to each one of them. So all these guys can search the internet. This guy can make calculations. This other guy can do it. And then
yeah.
each one has his own prompt and his own role. So we can say, oh, you are a very good manager, and you are very good in breaking down the tasks and many tasks, and you can delegate all these tasks to other agent that you have on behind below you. So you can do that using these kind of multi-agent stuff. This is looking pretty similar to what we're seeing here, right? And
Mm,
actually, every time the guy does any call, any calls like this one, when I
yeah.
upload an image and click on the classify button, you should display the classification result on the web page. And then he creates like a planner, updated the script.js, blah blah blah, verify the web interface, blah blah. And then he creates a plan, he executes it, verifies it executed, goes to the next step, it verifies executed. So it's exactly what we can see in this kind of frameworks like Crew AI. But of course, there is a plan of interesting integrations here, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's not a raw multi agents. It's something that the guys are working hard, because you can imagine how many integrations you can do it in your head. GitHub, Shell, a search, and writing code, and running stuff, integrating with the AWS, a GCP. Man, all these things needs to be
Single agent.
integrated, implemented. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So you can achieve this. Oh, let's see the dead code stuff.
yeah.
Some issues. It finished, it worked. I could call this a successful project, but if we go to the editor, there are many, many files of code with dead code that is not being used at all by Devin. So I did the review. Obviously, we don't have time to see all of the work that Devin did here, but I can show you, for example, has this file. It's called convert model. I cannot see the name of the file, and the editor, it's broken. So it says convert model program. Let me see, programmatically. And it does a conversion of the model that I created using JavaScript. I'm not sure why I needed that. Has another one here. This one works, so this one is fine. Let me see what else it created. Here is another conversion piece of code, another convert. This one is in Python, another convert. This is the one that I show you. This is another convert in JavaScript. So all of that code might have been used by Devin at some point while it was trying to figure out how to create and serve this model, but it's not longer used and it's not needed anymore. The web page is fine. The API, the Flask API, let me see if I can find it here. Here is the web, the API, it's the Flask API. API with the predict function. That is fine. Again, some weird things inside, but I'm not gonna get too specific about that because I guess that it's sort of like okay, but that dead code, it's a turnoff. So let's go to the second project. It was
At least it's not a god class.
Yeah, yeah,
Actually,
I agree.
Yeah.
actually, it does remind me when we did comment some codes because we are not very familiar with version control system. So so we keep commenting a lot of things that we find and we think it's useful later.
V1, V2, V3.
Yeah.
But it's then very dangerous. You have got a lot of that code and you don't know, oh, is it used somewhere or not? Or it's a lot of maintenance, you know? If you
But,
if you don't know it's used or not, what are you
but
doing with
yeah,
it? You just delete it,
but
it just lowers the quality of the whole code.
yeah, but this I think it's easy to fix. You just all need to ask Devin to fix it.
Exactly. Please
Probably.
clean up.
You say
Yeah.
Devin to create, he creates, he has bugs, and then you ask him to fix the bugs, and then this is
Another
the new
Probably a
another
next
prompt.
version. Oh, sorry.
cycle.
No, that I was just complimenting another prompt for Devin. Okay, Devin, you did that right. No, just clean your dev code.
Yes, I think
Maybe.
it's
Yeah. Well,
it's
probably
simple.
a new agent, right? You say you Devin have a new agent inside it. Say, okay, you are the cleanup agent. You clean everything that is not needed.
Hmm.
You
Yes,
Uh,
see?
very.
anyway,
You don't
it's
even need any agent. You can just rely on on
Of
the
course.
compiler, something that it's not code anywhere.
anyway it's a good output. We could say it's we are having something here.
Hmm.
Mm,
But
Far
that's
better than Copilot, I would say.
but
Much
that's
better.
maybe now we are seeing that code. That code is easy to take out, but some you and not useful code in the middle of some used code. That is more worrying part. I think he also mentioned that, right? The problem of these um, hidden issues that he can create
Uh-huh.
inside the code.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is.
yeah, that
Uh,
makes sense. That
mhm.
makes go on, Pedro.
Yeah, that is a part that I really want to show to put here, guys. That is the fourth project. The fourth project is a Python backend implementation, a take-home assessment for a job. So this is that's why I like this, and the result is really interesting. Let's take a look, and then we can discuss.
This Python backend implementation is very impressive. Again, Devin used ngrok, so it's not available for me to show you. I can show you the UI because it was Netlify, like the web interface is Netlify, but it's not working anymore because the backend is no longer accessible. What's really impressive about this is that when I got access to Devin, I asked people on Twitter, give me examples so I can show Devin. And somebody sent me this repo. It's a take-home assessment for a full stack engineer position. So there is a whole explanation here of this take-home assessment. I would say this is for probably an entry-level full stack engineer. I don't think it's too complex, but I took this as is, did not make any changes to it. I told Devin, I want you to solve this problem, gave it the URL. I want you to code the backend using Python instead of Golang. Obviously, I do not write Golang, so I wanted to do it in Python, and that was it. Those were my instructions. Devin went on and built the whole thing following the instructions given on that repo. Let's see if we can see how that worked. I don't know how much Devin tested it. As you can see, at some point it had trouble with the images, with the cover images. This is just to display podcasts, and like you can type and search the list and filter that list, and it's accessing those podcasts on an API. When it finished, the styles were just horrible. And at some point I said, I don't know where, but probably close to the end, not here, please improve the UI with better looking styles. And it went from very ugly to a much better UI, right? It's just it knew what I meant. This was successful. Again, it took a lot of back and forth with Devin, me telling, hey, that didn't work, or there is a bug here, or can you improve on this? But I did not have to write any code. It was very successful overall. And that leads me to the final example.
Okay. I'd like to show this because, okay, he just gave an abstract, right? Saying, oh, I like it, the result, and blah, blah, blah. But then, in some point of the of the video, he just scroll everything, all the chat. What I did, of course, I screenshot the chat to see what actually happened on this case here. So I did that. Can I share my other screen here, Hugo?
Yeah, sure. You can share here. Just
Let's unveil the real Devin behind that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. So here, okay, this is a real Devin, right? And here it says, okay, I want to solve this problem. And it says, got it, right? I start working on coding backend. I'll check out and see. Clone and GitHub, read the README, because of course this is the thing, and set up a Python environment. I find it's really awesome because, okay, I know that I need to get this guy. I know that I need to set up a Python environment because that's what the guy said, right? Then the other stuff that happened here. I attempted to push a new branch because I'm doing some stuff here, right? Can you provide me credentials? You see, this is one integration that I was talking about. So you can provide. Oh, and he said, no, please do not make changes to the remote because this is from the other guy, right? Test yourself. And I said, all right, understood. I said, let me take the other one. Second part here. Okay, test everything yourself. Understood, Santiago. I will continue focus on testing and refine the backend locally, ensuring blah blah. Once I'm confident on the local setup, I update you. I find it is awesome, right? And then he start doing lots of stuff. Tested the endpoint, install the core to test the endpoint, run local testing with PyTest, documented the local setup in a README, review the blah, commit and finalize it, commit and the changes. Awesome, right? Okay, and then he started here, the end, right? And then he created this report, right? I have completed blah blah blah. Here's the summary: local development setup, Dockerization, network configuration, local testing, documentation. The Flash application is now running locally and can be accessed. Blah, right? All the functionalities here. So to build the Docker image, you can just run Docker and build and stuff, right? And then he said, and then the guy said, in some point of the stuff, he said, please deploy the website to Netlify, and give me a URL to test it. Absolutely. And then he did everything. Confirm the necessary files, deploy the front end, expose the back end. Man.
But then he has an error, and then he fixed the error. So it's kind of human. See,
Yeah.
on the end, he has course
Even
problem. Yeah.
updated the backend course policy. He had a problem with course. Updated the backend to handle course, right? Because he wants to see it, and he tried to do it, and then he tested and checked it was not working, and then he tried to fix it. It actually very, very interesting. Investigation stuff and session ended. Yeah. Here. Oh, it is a complete. The complete. This is what everything he did, right? Oh, restarted Docker container. Blood. He tried to fix this stuff.
Mhm.
Tested the search functionality and verified console logs for data or errors. Lots of good stuff, interesting stuff here. And this is this is an interesting part here. When you display the list, here
So,
he asked her to change something.
sorry, Pedro. Before you start going, can you just show how long it took to run all
Ah,
these commands?
yeah,
Because
good
I think
question. Yeah, I this was something that
yes,
I
I only want the big block when he asked to deploy, right? How long it took
yes. You
to
see,
deploy?
he asked something, and then
Okay,
he asked for a provision. 10 minutes later, he asked for credentials.
okay.
Cool. The guy is taking time to answer actually, right? So, for example, like he in this case, 20 minutes later, he said something. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, yes, but it makes sense because you ask something, it takes a lot of time. See now, 11,
Yeah,
11, 9,
Yeah,
then
around
11.
21,
10 minutes. Yep, 10
12
minutes per
minutes.
one.
Yes, 10 minute each command at probably at least,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. This is the guy. The moment he says, "Oh, I did lots of stuff here in 12
Yes,
minutes."
yes.
10 to 12 minutes seems to be some.
But
Uh huh.
let's see now because now he have done many
A
things.
lot
So
of stuff, right?
yes,
Mhm.
Yeah, let's see.
22, 22.
Wow, two
No,
hours.
this is not. It's not the end because the guy was
Scrolling a
scrolling too
lot. Yeah.
fast. Yeah, I couldn't take the last time of this.
okay, no problem.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
But for changing, for example, the change in the front end, it took 4 minutes.
yeah, it depends on the task, but
On the
okay.
task. Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably the agent if he needs to connect to outside system or this kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Other improving here, 4 minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
probably front end will not take so much time because
He's better
Yeah,
front end developer.
He's not a front end developer. But
uh,
well,
But
I liked this to see this because it looks like uh, uh, he looks like it's not exactly the same as we have with Mode agents that we give a task, it executes the order he created, and then it's finished, even if the task is executed or not, right? In this case, no, it executed, check. If it's not working, he creates another planning, execute it again,
mm,
and check it again. Execute another planning, check it again. As we see that in the other moment. So I can imagine how many calls here to to OpenAI to execute all this stuff.
yes,
I
I
can
think
see this very interesting when you're creating new projects, right? But when you're dealing with a lot of complications with pre-existing projects, I don't know how it would figure out. But yeah, I can see a lot of improvement on that as well.
Yeah. Can we go back to the video?
yep.
sure.
Yep.
And I think you need to change that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right. This is an example, and I think it's interesting to show the failure, the complete failure. What do you think?
Oh my! How you dare, Devin?
We have two big failures here in this video. That is the in the third project and in the last project. What do you
Say
think?
complete.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
let
pick any of them.
any of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I can
Okay.
see
Let's see the latest one here.
second try.
Yeah, the second try.
That's it.
Internet, please.
Hey, come on, Devin. Devin is shy. He doesn't want to show his failures.
Haha, but just because I'm clicking on failure.
Show you the second attempt. My prompt is very similar. I'm just being a little
Just say what he's trying to accomplish here, okay? It's a second try. Is that I want to create a RAG application with Python that work as follows. It will be a shell application. It needs to load a website, and then you can talk to this website. It's basically it, right? If anybody, if nobody, if anybody in the chat doesn't know what a RAG application is the idea of uh, when you can put a memory in a in an LLM, so you can like send like a book to a database, in the case a vector database mostly, and then we can talk to this book by getting pieces from the database, and then the LLM can work with these pieces instead of work with the entire book, because the LLM doesn't is not able to do that most of the time. So that's the idea here. So, but he tried the first time, it didn't work, but he couldn't interact with it. So he tried again. That's what he's doing here. The second try.
bit more specific just to get to the application a little bit quicker. And I'm going to show you some of the files that Devin created here, because this is just like weird. Let me see. So I have an app file here. This file is 151 lines of code to do something that maybe right now using LangChain, you need a couple dozen lines of code to just build this entire application. Might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but definitely you do not need 151 lines of code. But that's not it. Look at all of these files. I don't know if this is downloading Pinecone library here. Why is it doing this? These outputs that it created, I am not sure where these files are coming from. When I downloaded this to my computer, I got a ton of like hybrid convex. I don't know what this is. I got a ton of files on my computer, like this pinecone.py file, that I'm not sure why Devin needed that file here to do something. By the way, at some point, it asked me for documentation about a functionality that I didn't even know why I needed that functionality. The application did not work. I downloaded a ton of code to my computer that I had no idea why it was needed to be there. Of course, that was just the first attempt. I could have just kept asking questions and trying to make it better, but that will be one of the things that concern me the most about Devin in its current form. How verbose it tends to be, how much code it tends to write or download or whatever it does. I don't like that, because that code is very dangerous for a system. Specific to solving one project, Devin feels very slow. Sometimes it takes a long time to answer, and it's a little bit frustrating because you know it's going to be a two-way street. You know it's going to ask you questions. You know it's going to get back to you if it gets stuck, but you cannot be here on your computer just waiting for it to do something, right? So that is a little bit frustrating there. I'm sure that's going to get better. Obviously, this is just, it's not even the first version. It's not even out there.
Well, if it is
Yeah,
verbal, we can assume that Devin is a Java developer.
Just
Unknown Java developer.
Oh man. A Java
Before
developer
Lombok.
using Python and JavaScript. It's the worst.
Yeah,
Before Lombok and record.
yeah,
And
yeah.
records,
Back
yeah.
then, Java 7 or 6 in the early days.
Yeah, I have my conclusion about Devin.
Hmm.
I think
What is
Devin is more human than I thought because
Yeah,
he tries and fix and try and fix and try and fix and never delete the files. So it's like Hugo was saying. So
makes sense. Makes sense. He could even comment the code blocks and left that into the class.
yeah,
Oh,
he
that
only needs
code.
that. Yes. If
we,
he
we can
starting
prompt
no,
them.
but
commenting
pass it
code,
here, pass it here, pass it here.
yes. If he starts commenting the code that okay, I don't not need this code anymore. Let me comment
Yeah.
it.
Let me just
It
leave it
crash.
if I need it that thing
Yes,
back.
yes.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, he
Well,
said he says here in the conclusion. He has a conclusion. Like after that, uh, not only that Devin feels very slow, but the conclusion. His conclusion is pretty much that he believes that Devin will gonna work in the future, right? And it will be like a interesting piece of software. But well,
Yeah, about that, uh, just one more thing. I think I saw two problems with Devin. Of course,
mm,
it seems to be very nice and have many agents, but the first thing it's price. Probably it will not be cheap. At least not in the next months or maybe years. It will not be cheap because there are many integrations, many
mhm.
things, and probably will not be. And the way it works, because it works like that, it try and error. So it probably is
mhm,
not cheap.
Brute force approach, right?
Yes, brute
Like we
force, of
yeah,
do,
course.
we see a lot of we have a lot of these experiences when we don't know what to do.
Yes,
Sometimes we do try and brute force and see something
yes,
mhm.
if something works.
yes, yes. He's
Yeah.
human.
And
And
He's
and
human.
the, and
Human.
and the second thing, I think probably it will not work very well. It's related with because I don't know how it works, but it you need to work with the connections that it's not on the internet. So intranet connection. So if I have, for example, a server running in my machine, I don't know, a database, he will
Mhm,
probably not be able to connect to it. So yeah,
yeah,
this is probably
no
something that
local test.
Customize
yeah,
things for your environment.
yeah, it will be
yeah,
And
something.
what I
yeah.
saw with that API key, you have to provide it at some in some of the examples, some API key. So what my question was, what's going on with that API key? What is he doing with that? How secure it is? So a lot of questions about security. What's happening with my key, for example, or what codes will be transferred to I don't know where. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's
I
maybe
believe
also part of the issues to figure out.
yeah, this will be a major blocker for many companies about security and compliance. Exactly this point, Sila, about let's see what this AI software engineer is doing with our data or business logic, and in your case, you just highlighted the API key. It can be used anywhere. You have no idea what Devin is doing with that. And Tiago just mentioned a point that I was going to touch. Price. Probably this will cost a lot if we look into that. Even I've heard on when guys were talking about AI from Google, the Gemini, that would be much more cheaper to pay a software engineer, even if
Mm,
he is earning as much as a Googler earn than using Gemini to generate code. I believe that same applies here for Devi as well.
mhm. Yeah, trying to figure out how many calls he did here, and of course, as we saw here, it was 5 attempts. Two of them were complete failures. Uh, all the successful needed his human interaction to be
Mhm.
almost succeeded. I can't. Many of this tests that he showed here, he called a success, but other people wouldn't call it a success in some cases, right? So I think he was like being nice with Devin, but if Devin was working for him, he wouldn't be that nice. I think, right? So that's other stuff. So we'll be like be much more uh, 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 much more hard to make sure that the code works, that everything's doing the right way. Because he had another example there about changing stuff that Devin was keeping saying, "Oh, I changed it, and it didn't change," right? So all these things that would make a life easier, it's not making your life easier. You will say, "Okay, Devin, don't worry, I will do that." You see? So of course, Devin is improving, right? But oh, I think all these things should be made. They need to work on that is like user friendly or usability or costs, everything, right?
Mhm.
So I think I,
Yeah.
I really think that we'll be having much more tools that are a little more specific than a Devin that could work even better.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that.
Yeah. I would say that it's not red for production. However, it's amazing to see how how much things we can do, how many things we can do with AI. Because as you can see here,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of integrations and many things. He can create a pull request with all the things done. He can deploy the things and all of these automations. So yeah,
Mhm.
maybe we can have some AI, internal AI that do the deployment, that create the configurations, create the, for example, the CI, the pipeline, maybe. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I totally agree. We can maybe automate things using these kind of AIs, bots, AIs, agents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
As we sorry.
uh, Yeah, all of these more automated and maybe repetitive tasks, I think that Devin can help a lot. Let's put an example. You're in your company and the company is starting a new project and you need to have it all to prepare the environment in the cloud and create pipeline and all that stuff and even create a first skeleton of the project. I believe that Devin can do a real good job on that, since this will be almost be the same. You just ask Devin what you want, and this cannot be having many bugs on that. Um, but for more complex tasks, that's a different stuff.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, actually, I like it what I see here. It's in terms of uh, uh, I don't see this like saying okay a software engineer will not be needed anymore, but tools like this, if we like divide some make it more specific, you know, and try, or even if Devin could do everything in one place, but but I think we're gonna find lots of specific tools out there that do some kind of stuff that will make our lives easier. When we think it will make our lives easier, it means that we're gonna need to be much more productive to stay in our jobs, right? That what means, right? They are already saying that about Copilot. You need to be much more productive because you're using Copilot. You can imagine like using tools like Devin.
Yeah,
Yes.
you will be empowered, and then that's why companies started to looking on that. No, now I can use two developers will do the work of 10. Probably,
Probably.
probably, probably. So
Yeah.
if you're watching until now, you're aware of that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think we finish here. You can like remove the screen.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I had to leave for a while and get back here. But have you shared the conclusions from the video, Santiago? He made a really interesting trade-off regarding to about Devin, right? Even though it is not so, um, it doesn't accomplish all the tasks, but it's really interesting. At least I do believe, like he said, that the demand for high quality developers will increase because we'll have to review all of this code, all of these things that is automatically created, and yeah, so everyone will have to raise the bar and understand that I don't know how uh, new joiners, new developers will be working with this new reality. But yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
will start with a really smart assistant on their side. So I believe they will have much better days than we had in our in our junior junior life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
there's another thing, right, on this back and forth that we saw talking with Devin, the prompt engineering, we could see knowing how to ask the right things, adding more detail, probably the way we already do with ChatGPT with other LLMs. This will also help Devin to get a better solution for you. So, but
Mm-hmm.
this is
Mhm.
an assumption since we don't have access to Devin until now, but probably the more detail, the more context you add into it, the
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
better results you will have in your output. So prompt engineering is also another feature that we all need to shape as software engineers in this
Yes.
generation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, not only for the people who will be working with the creating AIs, but with they using AIs. Yeah, it will
Mm.
be something needed.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So we had, I think it was really interesting video showing Devin features. I really enjoyed what the video, what the test that he made, and what Pedro made. He went much deeper. He took the screenshots of the conversation so we could understand a little bit better what was the step by step of these two. And yeah, it's and by seeing everything that David made, I don't see nothing that is far from what we have been doing, watching with the tools that we already have on our hands. It is function calls with large language models. It is something that can multiple agents that with specific prompt that can uh, work with their own tasks. So it is totally feasible to have things like that. Of course, there's a lot to evolve, and I'm not skeptical that it will evolve a lot faster than than a lot of other things, because there are a lot of people that is investing money on this on this solution. So also the cost challenges, probably they will also they will also overcome it near future. I see
Mhm.
they just released new GPT-4 O
Oh.
from the OpenAI, and they cut the cost from 50%, so it is cheaper than it was already. And
Mhm.
yeah, we are moving to this reality much faster than ever before.
Mhm.
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
there is also hardware evolution happening. There are processors for AI being developed that they deliver a lot of work with a less power consumption and even cheaper. So Intel is joining the party. They want to hit against Nvidia as well. So that will be
Mhm.
a hardware and a software battle. But and this battle we will see how much the costs of using AI will drop in the future.
Mhm. Yeah, completely agree.
So yeah, so in summary, we still have some few months of work.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have a lots of work. We're gonna have to fix all these bugs that Devin will generate. So yeah, don't worry.
Lots of bugs.
It
Lots of
will
bugs.
it will
I think we're
recall.
gonna
It's
have
not.
more work
Yeah. It's
actually.
not software engineer anymore. It's bug engineer.
Bug
Yeah,
engineer, yeah.
bug engineer.
Mhm.
You're hired to clean code from Devin.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you enjoyed the discussion, yeah, please subscribe and follow us. We're gonna be back in 2 weeks. So see you everyone. Thanks.
See
You take
See
you.
care.
you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye
Thanks
bye.
for joining.